Alright, so I actually think I'm gonna have to make this into 2 videos, so I probably added on. I definitely should be wearing a hat right now because my hair is a little bit crazy, but if I'm being honest, I just don't feel like going to get one. Anyways, so we're just gonna start off this part with some Jimmy Choos. So this is my first time finding Jimmy Choo at the thrift store not marked up. The only time I've ever found it marked up was maybe like a year ago, and the Goodwill had gotten a whole bunch of like new in box or just like new like shoe donations from whatever place, I'm not sure where. And well, the Jimmy Choo, and they had them all marked up. The Jimmy Choos were marked at $150, and they were like a flat. They weren't like a heel or a new style or anything like that. So I left those behind. I don't think they even sold. I think they sold at like half off day, but they sold them in $75, and I was not paying that. So Jimmy Choo, these are a patent like orangey leather with the bottom soles. These are authentic. Jimmy Choo's they do have fake Jimmy Choo, but not like there's not like a ton of well, I don't think they're faking this style. Like this is like a little bit of a dated style, but they're still designer shoes, so I wanted to get them, and I don't really find Jimmy Choo often. I mean, it's at the Bicycle Trade store a couple times, but I just don't really want to pay the prices that they have. But these were $6.04. So I was like, you know what? Okay, let's go get them. They're size 39.5, and they do have some like scuff marks to them, but like if I'm being honest, I just couldn't leave them, even though they're my favorite. They just have some wear, but I think these still, I probably list these like 65 maybe, but I'm excited to cross Jimmy Choo off my brand. So if you're not going to start the haul, what was that? It was like a black fleck. Okay, anyways, if you're not going to start a haul off with Jimmy Choo's, then isn't even a haul video. I'm kidding, obviously, but okay. All right, this was half off, which is why I got it. I've never, I think, tried this brand before. I've never found it, but I remember seeing this like, yeah, Lisa Todd, size extra large, made in Peru. So this is a pretty expensive brand, I think, but it's like a camo top with like mesh details. So I did not. So I found it like when it was like the new color, and I didn't get it because it was the only thing I found, and I just didn't feel like going to the checkout for it because it was $5, and then I eventually made it half off. So I'm actually kind of happy I didn't get it that day. So, anyways. All right, this is like one of the only items I'll pick up from this brand. Well, that's not true, but and tops, I usually don't pick up tops at like regular Goodwill price unless it's one of these. This is a Free People size extra small, but this could fit like a size extra large. It's like one of those like oversized sweaters, which still do well for me in the brand Free People. But so for Free People, if I'm not really sure about the piece, I look for this newer care tag. Same with Anthropology, but it has like the size down here as well. So if the size is down here, that means it's a newer piece. So I try to stay for that. This one doesn't have any special fabric. It's just cotton polyester and elastane. But I probably list this maybe at like $38 and hope for 25 to 30. But I like the color of this blue. All right. Next, can you tell what this is based on the style of it? So this is I was really excited about this actually. This is like a velvety kimono type thing. And this is from Johnny Was. I'm just kidding. It's actually not. Okay, it's from Sundance, size medium. But if you show me this and told me it was Johnny Was, I would believe you. I bet a lot of you just believe me now. But just based it on seeing the style. Okay, so when I Google Lens this, it came up Johnny Was. And I'll literally pop up a stock photo next to me right now of that Johnny Was cardigan. So they have, like, it's basically, it's literally almost identical to it. This fabric content is 82% rayon, 18% silk. The Johnny Was cardigan that looks exactly like this is 82% rayon and 82% rayon and 18% silk, just like this one is. I thought that was kind of crazy, and I was like, yeah. But I think this is gonna do so well. Like this, when I am looking, I do like to sell Sundance. I do not always pick it up, but when I'm looking for a Sundance item, this is it. Like, yeah, when a Sundance item is good, it's a good it'll sell well. Okay. I was not sure about these. Okay, these are framed, which I don't always pick up, size 28. And they are like this white Bermuda short. So, but these are called the Lace Slouch Bermuda. And they're like a Bermuda short. So people like the longer length shorts. I wasn't sure about the color. I should have probably left these. Okay, so I should have left these because, okay, they're always tends in shorts. Like, I don't find premium denim shorts all that often. But, for the, I guess in the last year I found four like premium denim Bermuda shorts at different times, except two of them were at the same time, and they were like all like similar sizing, so I feel like they were from like the same person. and for whatever reason, and like these have never been worn. I mean, this is like fraying, and once this is washed, it gets all like tangled and stuff like that. This has never been washed. I mean, this is a cut hem straight from the factory. It was not hemmed either because that's the style. Like this is these have no staining to them at all. These are like new without tags. They have no wear on the buttons or anything like that. They are a button fly. So I'm like, okay, these have never been worn. So we'll give them a try. Alright, speaking of frame, here's a pair of frame. These are size 33, and they are high-waisted, straight leg pants. So these were originally marked at $30, and I sold them behind the counter, and I would just not pay that. They are new tags from Anthropologie. So new tags frame, like in a size 33, which is a plus size, like okay, $250 retail, which is absolutely insane. So they did not sell. Nobody wanted to pay that. I think they even went down to $20. Nobody wanted to pay that, and eventually they just marked them at $6.08. And I did a 10% off coupon because I'm a student. So I was fine paying with that. I'll probably list them at $100. The comps were actually okay because it's a high rise straight leg and black. So they're a good size. The only size 33 was also new with tags, but they went at $120, so I'll list them at $100 to hopefully move them out faster. All right. Marine layer, size extra large. This is like a red colored Henley style polo kind of like sweatshirt. So I wanted to get that. Marine layer either sits forever for me or sells fast. Like there is no in between with that brand. It sits forever or sells fast. Like within a day or takes forever. Athleta, these are the Fairland jogger. So they're black, just kind of a more classic style. So probably $30 for these. I'll probably list this around like I'll probably get like 35 for that. I'm hoping it's a nice style. Alright, I've never heard of this like brand before. So I got this off of a new rack. It's called Jillian Harris at collaboration with Jackson Rowe. So there's the label. So I looked up Jillian Harris. The comps like weren't that, or I think I looked up Jackson Rowe for whatever reason. The comps weren't good, but then when I was searching it up, it had like a suggested like search up with Jillian Harris. So when I looked it up, the comps were actually really good. Some of these were selling for over $100, but I just wasn't sure because some of them weren't selling for that much either. But it was new tags, which is why I wanted to get it. And it has like this little heart patches at the elbows, which I think is a cute detail. And it's like a really like shackety, it's like a shacket style, a long line, and a nice color. So I think I'll list it at like around 75 to 85, and we'll just see how that does. Alright, this is a Sorel men's size extra large quilted vest. I've never found like Sorel clothing, so I thought we'll try this out. It doesn't take up much room either, and we'll see how that does. I looked up comps on that, and they were really mixed, but the quilted ones seem to do better than the non-quilted ones, so I think that'll help me. Alright, I'm just going to get ahead with my bummer of the day. So it was my first time finding a Disney Spirit jersey, so I was really excited. I don't really like Disney, but yeah, really exciting. I know Heather would be excited. So there's like the Walt Disney World, but I don't know. I was kind of in a rush, and what I failed to notice, like I don't think I've missed a flaw this bad in a long time. Look at that like huge hole in the front. Like I can literally see out of it. Like, you see my eye? Wait, okay, I'm trying to like line it up with my eye. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see that or not. I was having trouble seeing, but like it's a really big hole. So like I'm gonna return this. I'm allowed to return it. It was only $2.99, which is, they probably marked it down because of the flaw, but I'm actually surprised they put it out. But I'm not gonna sell it. If it was like a tiny pinhole, okay, fine, but not that size. All right. I can get credit with that. I don't get my money back. I just get store credit, which is I have to spend that day the day I bring it back, but I'll have probably no problem doing that. All right, Avec Les Filles. I've actually never found this brand at the thrift store, size large. And it's like a really cute front zip jacket. It has these pockets. This is in like great condition, size large. I think this will sell for over $50. I really like the style of this. And the brand has, I got it in a swap box from, speaking of Heather, and it sold for $85. But I think that was like a good style, but I think that one's a good style as well. All right, this one, it's a reversible, like, brown puffer coat, and I couldn't find the brand on it, but I was just giving it, like, I could tell it was down-filled, so I wanted to look at the brand, and so I was, like, turning in the pockets, trying to find it, and the brand was, oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so it's an Eileen Fisher size extra small, 80% down, 20% feather-filled coat. and round. So probably $50 for that. Probably like $30 to $40 for the straw vest. And I got this for free. A garage sale in my area. Like they had like a free table outside, and I just like the pattern, so I grabbed it to take it to Clothes Mentor because I feel like they would take this. But it's the brand Fat Face, which I've sold before and it can do okay. So I'll probably sell this, and I'll probably get like I would say like $20 to $25 for this. So it's a cute little canvas crossbody. So crossbodies sell pretty well for me. So we'll just have to see how that does. Here's something to pass on. This is an Everlane crew neck sweatshirt. It was just really faded, and I don't do the best with Everlane anymore, so I often pass on it, and I thought $6 was a bit much for that piece. All right, Athara older style leggings, definitely a pass for me. Free People Movement is a brand I used to pick up a lot more than I do now, so I left those behind. And then Outdoor Voices are these next pair of leggings, and this brand does not do that well for me. I almost always pass on their leggings, but it's not a brand I find often either. This was a vintage Santana knit St. John piece. Just was definitely like an older style. I just wasn't crazy about. A little bit more on the pricey side at $8. Size 10. Yeah, I just wasn't a fan of that one. And then a few down from that, I saw this blue one, which I liked a little bit better. And in the next clip, I'll show the matching skirt that was actually missing the brand label, but they were the same color, same fabric, and, you know, I've saw the size tag. So this skirt was St. John, but I also decided to pass on that as well. Norma Kamali, this was just a tank top, and it was $6. Kind of a nice green color, but I try to stick to that brand in dresses. All right, this was no brand, but they had a giant hole in them, and they were trying to charge like $7 for them. That was ridiculous. All right, I do like this brand, Stuart Weitzman. And this style was like okay, but I just didn't get them. The condition on these was, I mean, phenomenal, but I didn't get them. I didn't love them. And J Slides is not a brand I pick up anymore. Maybe in a very specific style, but these sneakers are not one of them. All right, this was like a special Goodwill. I don't come to this Goodwill very often. There was a football game 45 minutes away, so I don't go to it. But those were Free People New Tag, AG. These had puckering. I decided to leave these two behind just because I didn't love them and because of like wear on these. All right, this is a pair. This is my friend Alex, and I said I would drive if she went to Goodwill. I told her to look for Athara and Lululemon and Viore, and she found these, but they were an extra small petite, so I left those. All right, we're gonna do one of these hauls again. So if that light is distracting, I'm sorry, but Universal Standard dress. I usually find this brand new with tags, so I was kind of surprised to find it pre-owned, but not to be confused with Universal Threads, which I do not pick up, but I do pass on this brand sometimes too. It's just like this black dress. I don't think I've ever found a dress in this brand, and it was $7.23 with 10% off. And the extra small is actually a 6 to 8 in this brand, so they do have vanity sizing. It has a little bit of a keyhole, and it's just kind of like a more like relaxed style. Alright, it's been like a while since I found Lululemon, and the crazy thing is somebody, I guess it's a newer reseller in my area, like found Lululemon for the first time or whatever, like for like a few months, weeks ago or something, and she called the town we live in, that Goodwill, a small town Goodwill, and it was hard to find Lululemon because of that. Now that's just not true at all. In our area, the population is like 100,000 people, and that is nowhere near a small town, so I don't really know what she was trying to go with that, but, yeah. Anyways, and it's not hard to find Lululemon, but I just hadn't found it for a few weeks. You guys see my haul. If you've been on my channel a while, you know I have, like, Lululemon in at least, like, basically every one of my haul videos, and I do again, but, my mom found these Air Lululemon. I just make her go through the athletic section, because she's actually good at recognizing what to look for, and these were $4.19, so... Alright, these are Spanx. It says extra large. And I've never found a style like this before. They're like a wide leg satin fabric. But the issue I didn't realize is there are a ton of runs in them. Like, so I'm debating returning these. It's satin. Satin is I feel like satin's a difficult fabric to take care of because they always get runs. Like, they're pretty bad. So I'm gonna look up comps on the style. They are a size extra large, but they were $6.08. So I don't know. I might list them anyway. All right, and then here is the two things I got from when I went with my friend Alex to the Goodwill before the football game. But these are Patagonia size 28, like corduroy, straight leg pants. So $6.08, not terrible. And then there is the logo on the back. So I have been passing on Patagonia, but I can probably get 25 bucks for these, maybe 30, and these will help pay for my gas. I needed to find something. All right, and then I told her to look through athletic wear. She found those Athletas, and then she knows what the brand Figs is because we're both in like a CNA class together, and we bought the Figs sets for our class because I mean they're just like they are the best scrubs. So she bought a complete matching set from Figs, and so she knew like what to look out for, and I bought a complete matching set too. But I told her look out for Figs, and she found this like jacket thing which I've never found from Figs before, and she found like another top. I left the top. If it had like the match, it was like a khaki color, and if it had the matching like pants or whatever, I would have got it. But their tops I'm not really picking up unless they're a matching set anymore. But this was $2.99, so that was a great price. And then 10% off. I could probably get $30 for this. It's I'm not sure the style. It's like a jacket type thing, like a jacket or maybe a long sleeve top, but it does have all the buttons. I checked for that, and she found one out of the 2 things that I got, and we were there for an hour and 30 minutes. So I think it was just like a little bit picked over. But I know there are good brands in that store, but I just don't know. I mean, it's a huge risk to drive 40 to 50 minutes to go to one store. But if there are other stores in the area, I might like check it out. Like if I was in that area, if I lived in that area and I had to drive to my area, I would, because there are more backup options if a store wasn't good. But since there's just one store over there, it's just kind of like a huge risk, and sometimes it's really not worth the reward. But since I was there anyway, I definitely wanted to stop in. Right, here are more things I passed on. These are a pair of Tory Burch size 6 capris. They were marked up to $10. They will not sell for that. I love those logo buttons, but then they had some stains on them because they were white. But those will not sell for $10. Those will go half off, and I still won't get them at half off. But all right, this is a new brand to me. Osklin, very expensive. The comps were very like inconsistent. All right, this is like a brand like that has like the Desiqual vibe. Again, high retail, low resale. I wasn't sure of this brand at the time, but I know what it is now. So if it's there, I probably will get it. But all right, this brand I had never heard of, Agab. I looked up what it was, and it was like a designer. Like she designs her own stuff and designs for other like companies. But there was absolutely no information on her brand. Like I looked up the website, and she doesn't have anything for sale on her website. And that like other dress was also that. And then here's some like more dresses. There was like 3 of the Osklin dresses, 2 of like the Agab, but like not a lot of information. I think what was that? This was like a Hill Bob dress, but a little bit of an older style, but I still liked it. This was the Made in France dress, but a vintage designer, but not very much information about it, so I left that. All right, these are Sorel boots. They had some wear to them and needed some cleaning. So for $8, I just was not willing to clean them. And these were $50 each. I slowed down the footage to show you, but they're Manolo Blahniks. And I literally found the Jimmy Choo. They were $50 each at Goodwill. I was like, okay, be so free. You literally got those for free. But it's surprising that they know Manolo Blahnik and not Jimmy Choo. Now, if these were like under $10, I probably would have got all of them. I might pay $20 for this next pair of Pradas just because I did like the style on those, but the comps on Manolos aren't the best. Here are the Pradas. I thought they were like a little bit more of a recent style, but they were still like a little bit old. But $50, I was definitely not going to pay that, and I even had 10% off, but definitely not worth it. But I'm like, okay, how do you know like those brands but not Jimmy Choo? So this was literally at the same store that I got the Jimmy Choos at. So I was like, okay, you're kind of dumb but kind of smart at the same time, but you know what? I'm still going to be better. Okay, so I don't think I've ever been that stumped in a Goodwill for a while. Like, there were, like, so many brands I had never heard of that you could just tell were expensive from the same lady that it took me just so long to look everything up. And, yeah, I just have never been that stumped before, so that took me a really, really long time. I did get a few things that I'll show you when I get home. I would do a car haul, but I need to get home first and recharge because, I mean, from all the time I was there, I really didn't get that much. But I'm so happy with the things that I got. I found, I think, one new brand. And, well, no, no. I found one brand that's been on my bullet list, and then 2 new brands to me that I have never heard of, never found. So, I will show you when I get home. All right, now you have to see what I found. I had to take a couple days to recharge from that. If you can hear like drilling or construction work, I apologize. Or like the house right next to us, like, so I'm filming in the basement right now, and they're doing construction, and you can hear it. So I know there will probably be some background noise, but I only have a few things to show you. So if you can stick it out, I would appreciate that. All right, so the first thing I found on that new rack, like a whole bunch of new racks rolled out. And the first thing I found was Tibby. And when I find an expensive brand on a new rack, that's usually a good indication that there might be some other high-end brands there. So this is a New York, like, skyscraper printed dress. So this is the older Tibby tag. And I don't find Tibby that often. I've only found it, like, less than, like, 10 times, or, I've literally found it, I think, 3 or 4 times at, like, the actual Goodwill thrift store. And I've picked it up, I don't know. I haven't even found it, like, 10 times even at a consignment store. But it's not worth grabbing, even at Goodwill pricing. But I'm binge watching Suit, the show Suits right now. The one that was Meghan Markle's in, I think, I think that's her that plays Rachel. Anyways, it's on Netflix, but I don't think it's original to Netflix. But they're obviously based in New York, so I feel like I had to get this because I think it's pretty cool. I feel like someone from New York would like this, or anywhere. Anyways, but so I was like, you know what, like, let me just look it up. The only listing I ever saw anywhere for this was New Attack and Poshmark. It's still available, but I think it was $295 or $395, something like outrageously expensive. That probably retailed for $300 to $400, but yeah, okay. The next thing I found, this is the new brand I found that I crossed off my bullet list, Sandro Paris. Sandro Paris and Sandro, not the same thing. So Sandro Paris is good. Honestly, it's really not even that good. I know everybody that sold it are like, Sandro is not a brand that does well for me. It's not a brand that does well for me. Sandro Paris, Sandro, not the same brand. Sandro Paris, like, all the comps are like all not that all impressive, but some pieces will do well. And I'm pretty bad about this. When I find a new brand, I usually will get it. Like a brand that's on my bullet list, and if it's a new brand to me, sometimes I won't get it. But like if it's like a brand that's been on my bullet list or something, I usually get it, which is probably not good. But this says Radio Cuba, which I don't really know what it means. And it has like a sequined, like, cheetah jaguar thing. So that's interesting. And it has like the Cuba, like, stars. I think that's Cuba. Or is that Dominican Republic? It doesn't really matter. But this was worn by somebody in like a TV show, and it was like worn by a blogger. But this is like in pristine condition. It's a size 3, which is extra large. That tag is really crisp, and it has like that sticker, which that means you can tell it hasn't really been worn if it's not faded or anything. And it's a size 3. It's kind of by the shoulder, and they flip it there, and it's a size 3. So I found the Tibby and Tory Burch capris, and a whole bunch of other brands I hadn't heard of on that new rack. So I just grabbed it. Like, a lot of them said, like, made in France. They were tacked on nice tags. They had, like, were interesting font. And I was like, okay, let me just grab them and look them up. It took me, like, 3 hours to do everything. And, like, it was horrible. Anyways, okay, this is a brand I have sold before. I have found at the same exact store, Avec Les Filles, size 1X. And Heather, do you recognize this? So, I was talking earlier, before I found this, and earlier in the video, because that was a day before I went here, and I was like, oh, Heather, like, sent me a piece from Avec Les Filles that sold for $85. This was the exact piece. Like, this exact style, except mine that I sold was in a size medium. So, I probably listed this for $85. 1X is a good size, though, but I was really stoked about that, because my second time finding the brand within, like, a few days. So I was like, that is really weird. All right. Okay, so then another new rack came out, and I was finding all those other brands I hadn't heard of before, like I showed you in the videos. I can't even pronounce a lot of them. Like, yeah, some of them were made in France. They had interesting tags. They had most of them were expensive retail, low resale. Now, the brand Osklin. That was really expensive, but some people had them listed for $200, but the comps were like really $30. And I just was not willing to pay full price for them. Maybe I made a mistake, but I don't know. I think I mean, it's okay. So the things I decided to get out of that, there was a dress made in France, and made in France is a huge sign of quality. So I was really expecting to get that one, but it was one of those vintage, obscure designers where there really wasn't that much out there. So I just decided to leave it. And then for the comps that were there, they weren't amazing, but they had some good comps, but I just decided I was leaving them. Yeah. And they had some like really nice like skirts and skirt brands, and again, skirts don't sell that well for me, so I was kind of like, okay, I'll leave the skirts because they don't sell that well for me. Vintage designers are a really tough thing for me because they look dated, but I'm like, okay, but that's a designer brand, but you know. Anyways, okay. Things I decided to get. Ivan Grundal, Copenhagen, size small. This is atrocious. I mean, this is, like, I think it's, okay, if you like this, I'll have it for sale. I think it's hideous. Like, I think it's so ugly. Like, I'm just gonna be so completely honest, because I am an honest on this channel. I think this is ugly, okay? This is, they marked it as a tank top, so it was cheaper than the dresses, which was good. And it has, like, a really, like, interesting, like, cold shoulder, which, like, I don't usually pick up cold shoulder, but, like, this fits the aesthetic of, like, the vibe, I guess. But I guess you could wear it just as a tank top and just have that as, like, extra draping if you wanted. Anyways, so it has, like, this, like, rosette, like, ribbon detail. And then it says the logo, Ivan, what does that say? Ivan, oh, it's, like, cut off. And then it says New York. And then, does it have, like, a pocket somewhere? I don't know. Yeah, so it's, like, really interesting. This is going to be a painted photograph. It has more draping details with, like, this, like, buckle or, like, clasp thing. I have no idea. Like, whatever. Comps were good. They were actually pretty good. So I was like, you know what? If you see something unique, look it up. So, made in Portugal. Her stuff really gave me the vibe of, like, Desigual, that kind of brand. I don't know if the Sandra and Tibi was from her, if they were two different people, but they kind of like that same vibe. Okay, and then the next brand I got was, where is this thing? Okay, this is called Rund Holes. Okay, this tag just looks like so nice. It's tacked on, which means it was stitched on the sides, and it just looks fancy. So, and then it has this really cool print. It's like sheer. So, I don't know whether to mark it as a tunic or dress, but I'll probably mark it as, like, a top. It's lag and look. Very lag and look. All her stuff is, like, really, like art to wear, like, that type of stuff. And it's, like, sheer with, like, this pattern that I don't know what it is. So, when a brand has the name and care tag, that's a sign of quality. And then I flipped it, and it said, made in Germany. Now, I have never find things made in Germany except Birkenstocks, and Birkenstocks are expensive, so I'm like, okay, this must be a good piece. I'll probably list this close to $100. So, the unfortunate thing was, you guys saw that Black Label piece. It just said Black Label, had all that writing. When I was doing more research in the Rund Holes brand, the Black Label, was part of this brand. It's obviously really hard to look up Black Label because there's Black Label Evan Bacon, Black Label Ralph Lauren, a whole bunch of different Black Labels, like Black Label J. Crew, things like that. And then when I got home, I realized it was there. So if it's there still there the next time, it's a really interesting style, so I'm not sure if it will be. And it was really hard to look up. I would not have been able to look it up unless I knew about this brand, which I'm going to say most resellers don't, but we'll see. Alright, and my very last thing that I got is a tried and true brand that I usually pass on these days, but this had several factors to it. It's New Tags Bowden, size 10, and it's a toucan print midi dress. So, this was a brand that I knew, and I didn't really have to look up, because it was easy to look up. So, yeah, I got that. I'll probably list this close to, like, $65 and hope for $50. And, yeah, $100 listing for this, and probably, like, $75 maybe for this ugly thing. I think this is kind of cool, kind of ugly. yeah. All right, sorry for the drilling. Hopefully you guys made it through. Let me know your favorite piece, but I think I like the Sandro, or I'm happy with the pieces I got. And I also got a pair of like Lululemon old school flare leggings for my sisters, but I think one of them's they're somewhere, but you know, nothing like crazy special.